All of you, hope you guys are great and welcome back to yet another video. In the last video, we had completed our entire home page. In this video, we're going to make a little bit changes in our home page to make it fully responsive. So what we have noticed in the last video that our navigation is not fully responsive. Okay, so we're going to make that 100% responsive and we're going to change the data. So we have data in the cart, we have the data in the category. So all those images, all the user images we're going to change in this video. Okay, so it's going to be the refactoring, okay, what we have done so far in the last 15 video. Okay, so here I have already opened the project in my code editor. Make sure you do that, then you can able to do the modifications. So let's come up here, and here you can see here we have the problem in the notification. It's going out of the recommended mobile phone. Okay, so it's overflowing, so that's the one we have to fix. Same case goes with the profile section. You can see the navigation looks good, we don't have any issues in that. And let's make like this. If we have the problem, we need to fix this one. Working fine, but we need to do a little bit adjustment. So let's bring this way and let's make it on a mobile device. So let's click on this component and let's try to fix that. Let's go into the notifications and let's start with that first. Okay, so we'll come in the media query, and here we have to adjust the media query. So let's make it 10 RAM width. Oh, it's very small, so it's totally try. Okay, you have to try that which width is suitable for that element. Okay, so just test with a random value. So let's make it to, okay, this one is looks actually quite good. Okay, so this 21 is really fine. You can see now it's looking perfect. This notification bar on a mobile device, you can see if we expand, and it's absolutely perfect. Okay, it's not overflowing. And now if we are done with this notification, so that's the change we have to do. Let's come here, and now we have to fix that profile one. So let's come here and go to the profile css file, and here we are in the profile module of css, and now we have to fix that as well. So here you can see this is the profile, and we have to write the media query for this. So max width is going to 35 em. We'll target the profile, and this is the profile we are targeting. And here you can see we have assigned left to -70 RAM. That's what we're going to target. So in this we'll say 10 RAM. It's too much. 12. Let's make it 15. No. Okay. No. Okay, yeah, this, let's make it 5. This looks absolutely perfect. You can see right now it's looking good on a mobile device, both user profile and notification. So it's not overflowing anymore, and this looks absolutely incredible. You can see it's look great in all the devices. Okay, this navigation is also perfect, so it's look good. Now let's check the other element, and let's come here, and now we're going to do the changes. So right now you can see we have the similar image in the background, we have the similar in the user. So that's the change we're going to do in the images. Okay, these are the image, everything's working fine, no issues we have. So let's come here and go to this, where it is, go to this follower tab, and inside this follower tab we have this follower tab card where we are rendering that. So here we have hard coded the value, this image one. Okay, that's we're going to make it dynamic. So let's come up here, and here we are receiving the props. You can see we are receiving this I and element. Actually we have the data. Okay, simply copy that. Let's come here and let me show you. So here we are passing the props. So here you can see we are passing the element and we are passing the index. So we actually have the image, and here we have taken this random data. You can see card array, we have taken 1 2 3 4 and falling array. So we're going to take the image and we're going to take the user image as well. So we'll import the image folder, and that's coming from the images folder. Okay, so we have the images. Now we're going to simply replace this, and in that we're going to take this image user 1, image user 2, image user 3, image user, let's say 3, image user 4, and image user, let's say 5, image user 6, and image user 7. So altogether we have close to 8 component we want to display. That's why I have taken this 8 array, 8 images. Now we can come here in the card component, and here we are receiving this. Okay, so that's all we are getting the data. Now let's simply do the same thing for others, and let's do a little bit adjustments. So we're going to shift the placement because I don't want to display the same image, so you guys can not able to find the differences. Okay, so let me do the reshuffling. Okay, and let's remove this pressed here. Okay, so that's what we have done. Remove it and let's paste down below. So that's the array we are getting from the images. Okay, now let's come here and let's simply go to this here where we're displaying the images of the profile. So it's right here. Simply remove and type lm. If you save it, and here you can see here the images got changed. So right now we have a dynamic data, and the same type of data we'll get from our API. Okay, so we'll get the all the details about this followers, like the background image, the user profile name, ether price, and whether the user who's logged into the application are following them or not. Okay, so all the information will come in the API, and that's what we're going to render. Okay, so it's displaying absolutely perfect. Okay, it's working fine. Now let's switch the tab, and you can see tabs is also working fine. Okay, that's looking cool. Let's come back to the code, and here we have the hard code value for the background. Let's change that as well. So for that, what we can do, let's close all this array and let's open the first one. Inside that, we're going to take an object. One will have a file background, and one we have a for user. Okay, so we'll call it, let's say, background, and we'll call the background image. So inside this creator background, and we're going to take the user. In user one, simply copy and remove this one and replicate it couple of more times. So this will come 2, this become 2, replicate it 3, 3, 4, 4. So the possibilities are endless. You can bring the data in many ways, or you can create a separate JSON file. From there you can retrieve the data, which I'm going to do once we build the entire template. So we're going to build a internal server. What do I mean by internal server? We're going to create a JSON file which contain all the information about the NFT, user, authentications, followers, likes. So all the data we're going to create in our directory in a data JSON file, and from there we're going to fetch the data and display the entire in the application. So I'll show you how you can do that in an internal server in your computer, and then we're going to deploy the same data into our database and build an API around that. We'll use MongoDB's powerful query operators to make it our API powerful. Okay, so we'll do a lot of things. So I'll just give you a simple example of how you can play with the data, because data, so if you are good with data, you can plan that how data you can retrieve and display in the application. You can really improve the performance of the application. So planning a data for delivering in the application is one of the high paying skills. So always try to keep that thing in mind, because anybody can write. That's the thing you have to keep in mind. Okay, so let's do that. So change 5, 5, simply replicate it. This becomes 6, 6, this becomes 7, 7, and this becomes 8, 8. Okay, we have got this data. Now simply select all these and copy and do the same thing for others. So simply what I will do, I will replace the same data with this and do the same for this news array as well. So let's change the data. So right now here I have all the data, and what I can do, I want to do a little bit of reshuffling. So let's close this array. So let's come up here and let's try to close this one. So let's remove this couple of array from here. Okay, cut this and paste on top, so we'll have some difference, and let's open that, and everything's working fine. Now let's come back to follower tab card, and here we're going to do the changes. So here we'll remove this, we'll type elim, and inside that we'll have the background. Okay, so what's the name I've given? Let's copy the spelling. I don't want to make any typo. Okay, so this is the background, and let's scroll down, and now we have to display the user. So here we are displaying the background. Okay, and let's come down where the user, and here we have that elim. In that we're going to type the user. Now simply save it, and let's come back to the application, and here you can see that the background is changed and the user is changed. Now it's looking really good. Okay, so we have a dynamic data, and you can easily switch between different tabs and it will change. It's looking really perfect. Okay, it's looking beautiful. So I believe that you guys are enjoying this refactoring. Okay, so that looks really good. Now let's move to this one. We're going to change the images of this as well. So let's come back to the code, and what we can do, let's copy this one, simply remove that one because we don't need in that. Okay, so let's come up here and simply close this one, and simply copy this array, because the same type of structure, data structure, we have to follow in the video card component. So simply and copy this, and let's come here, go to this where we have the slider. Inside the slider, we have to go inside the slider, and here we are passing the data. Okay, so let's come up here, and here we have the demo data slider array. We're going to simply remove that, and we're going to paste that data. Okay, so right now we have the data. Let's import the images, and that's coming from the image from // and image folder. So here we have the images. Now simply copy that. Let's scroll down, and here we have to pass, instead of slider array, we have to pass this following array. Okay, so right now we'll passing that as a props. We are passing the props, you can notice. Now let's come here and go to the slider card component, and here we have to receive the prop. Okay, so let's come here, and that we're going to receive the props el and I. So that's the prop we are receiving. Let's come down, and here we have the hard-coded value. We're going to remove that with the background. Okay, not falling array. Simply come here and remove the background. Okay, so here we have the background. Let's come down, and here you can see that the images are changed. It's looking perfect. It's looking really great. So things are looking pretty good and impressive. Okay, we are done with this. We have no issues in the slider. We can click and we can move on. Now let's move to this collection section, and let's change the images and the profile images as well. Let's come back to the code, and what we can do here, simply close this one and close this one. Come here, go to this collection, and inside the collection we have this collection, and here we are passing the data in the data component. Okay, so first thing we have to do is to replace this data with the data. So let's come here, and we need the same data. So we have the data inside the follower tab. Simply copy the 3 because altogether we are displaying 3 components there. Okay, so let's copy and simply paste here what we can do now here, and now we have to simply import the images // image folder. So here we have the images. Now we're going to simply replace this one. Okay, so we have this card array. What we can do is, we no longer need this one. Simply remove that, and so everything is looking good here. Come back here, go to this day component, and here we are receiving the props. So let's come up here. Here we need to receive the props, which is lm and I. We have the data in this, copy that, and here we need to pass it. Simply replace this with to lm.background. Okay, for the background image. Now okay, so we have this error message. Okay, not undefined. So let's come here, and here everything's look good. Here we are still have the problem. Okay, let's have a look. Let's come here. We have all these data. We are passing in that, and close this one, close this one. Okay, my bad. Simply copy this and change this to news, and simply copy this and change this to following array. Okay, simply remove that, and now it will work. Simply save it, and you can see still we have this problem. Okay, we have this problem. Not a big deal. We're gonna fix it, and you will come across this problem when you will do the refactoring. Okay, so don't get frustrated. It's a part of building any application or any product. So it's working fine. Now let's have a look where we are making this mistakes. Let's scroll down, and here we have that data that's coming from here. So let's come here, and you can know, I have noticed one thing, that I'm not sending the props. Okay, so let's send that props let's make it inside the bracket, and here we need to send the element. Okay, the data itself. In this, simply copy this part and do the same thing in this following array as well. So let's face it here as well. So here we have to pass the data, and now we can come here and we can have a look, and you can see that the data is changed. Here we have the different images at the background. Okay, here we have the different. Let's come down, let's scroll down, And here we have three images. I'm changing only one because when we get the data from the API, we'll make an object sub image category in which we're going to add this additional image. Okay, if I'm not adding in right now because it will take a little bit of time. Okay, we'll do it in more robust way when we'll get the data from the API or our internal API. So now what we can do, I want to change the user profile as well. So the data we have for the user is this. Simply remove that element, and inside that we'll have this user. Okay, if I save, you can see we have this dynamic user data, and you can simply switch backward and forward and you can have a look. The data is keep changing and it's absolutely looking great. So that's looking perfect. We have no issues in that. Now we have to change the images of this. You can see we are displaying the same image. We're going to make it change that. Simply close this one, and come here and go to this NFT card, click on this, and here we have the card. So let's come up here, and here we are taking this feature array. We need to remove that, and we need to simply come in the collection. We need the data, so let's come here and simply copy the same data. Okay, copy the data, come back here and simply come here and replace this one. So here we have the data with, okay, simply copy that one and simply scroll down and move it to this one. Okay, card array, and from here we have to add the, let's say, so let's come here, remove this data. We don't have that. In that we have this background. Simply copy the background and simply I'll select all this and remove that one because we want to display only NFT. We don't want to display the user. Okay, so we'll remove that and we'll take a simple image. Okay, we'll have the NFT1, nf image dot nft2 and image nft3. Altogether I have 3 images in my NFT, but we'll have more. Okay, so let's try with this 3 only. Okay, so we have this 3. Now what we can do, simply copy and replicate 3 times. Okay, 3 times. So here we get the 3 different images. So things are looking good. Now let's have a look. So here we have that, and now we can do it, simply remove this with the element, the data itself, and here you can see we have that dynamic images. Now it's looking like a real application. You can see now it's, you guys are getting excited. Earlier we were putting the same data that was not getting excited in you. Many of you guys have asked me that how to render different images, so that's why I made this special video, and that we are changing this, playing with this data. Okay, so everything's looking good, images are changed, everything's working fine. Now let's change this category. Okay, so it's quite going to be similar. Let's have a look final more time. Things are looking awesome. Let's come close this one, come to the category sections, and we have to follow the same drill. Simply remove this one, and then we're going to take this image dot, so we're going to take this background 1, this will become 10, this will become 11, this will become 2, this will become, let's say, 4, and this will become, let's say, 5. So altogether here we have the data. Simply come here, remove that with the data, and let's scroll down, and here you can see it's taking a little bit time because the images are heavy. So when we deploy this images, when we'll deploy our application, we're going to compress this image because we have to improve the user experience. If it will take too much time, no one's going to stay in your application. So that's the thing you have to keep in mind. So here the image is fully loaded and everything's looking fine. You can see everything is looking great right now. We can scroll up and do the final test. So this is the hero section we have. Okay, let's scroll down and things are looking good. And let's come back to the code. Let's make a full screen. Let's make this one. And so finally we have done with this entire refactoring, and I made this extra video on this because many of you guys have asked me that how you can display your own images. So that's the only purpose I had to make this video. Hope you guys have got the insight that how you can do that. We're going to do in a more robust way. Okay, don't need to worry, just follow in a normal pace where I can find that you will learn the best. If I build the entire thing in one go, you're not able to retain a lot of things. Okay, so that's why I'm going a little slower here, but from the next video we're going to build one page in one video. Okay, So we have done all the hard work building this component, and now it's time to enjoy the fruit of our labor. We're going to plug this component, and we can simply build the entire application. So that's it in this video. Let's move to the next video where we're going to build the collection page. So see you there.